Oh, look at that camera. Hi guys, Dr. Tati here, and welcome back to Doctor's Gaming, and welcome to another Docs discussion session. Yeah, we're back to D&D this week. We are going to be creating a sidekick for our main character today. About 2 or 3 weeks ago, I think it was 3 weeks ago, we created a new character with the chat, known as Lilith. She's a Tabaxi bard who is going to be running a one-shot adventure next week with whichever sidekick we are going to be creating today for her. This is a one-shot adventure for one level character. Hey Vinyl, welcome to the stream. So it is for one level character. She needs a sidekick, so we are going to create that today. We are probably going to talk about some of the things we need to know for next week's adventure as well. But it is going to be a lot of fun. I think I'm going to have a lot of fun, at least, creating the character that we have today, because as some of you know, this character is from Human Fall Flat, known as Bob. Oh, Bob. Bob has been making me crazy in Human Fall Flat for years now, and I'm going to be creating him in D&D. Bob is literally the Human Fall Flat character that just goes like dancing and goes crazy and goes all over the place. Now, we're going to do a quick overview for those who have not seen any of my previous videos for what D&D is actually about. So we are back on the D&D Beyond page. Quickly going to read through here the overview on how to play, just to give you guys a reminder, because I know from experience that if you take a break for a long time, for like a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, no one is going to remember. Bob is pretty much your soulmate at this point, probably. Right now, for this session, he's going to be, at least for a while. And because I've been thinking exactly how to make him and how he's going to work, it's going to be great. But I think, at the same token, Lilith is your soulmate too, so don't judge. Alright, so while we wait for DocBot to wake up, Streamlabs to wake up, we're going to quickly go through here, because we sometimes do need Streamlabs to make some rolls, specifically you, Vinyl, because you're creating the character, you're helping me create the character, and if you have points, you can roll the dice and see where it lands. It's going to be, what was it? Exclamation gamble 200 for a 20 roll, or exclamation gamble 100 for a 100 roll. For a D20 roll, exclamation gamble 80 for a D8 roll, and if it goes lower, if you have to roll a D2 or D4, you just roll 40 or higher. So we just add a 0 to make it much more sense for Cloudbot, because Cloudbot can only work from numbers 10 up, so you can't roll a D5, which is annoying. But that makes the math a little bit weird, but it makes the game a little bit. Yeah, so what? I'm proud of Lilith. And I'm going to be proud of Bob. And I think you're going to be proud of Bob as well when we do finish him today. Because I think he's going to hopefully help Lilith out. Alright, so in D&D, each player creates a character who is an adventurer and teams up with other adventurers. So in this case, we've got Lilith, who is the Tabaxi bard. I keep on wanting to say Tabaxi monk. Tabaxi bard, who we're going to determine her role, or her entertainment role. She is an entertainer, but we're not sure which entertainer she is in a second. One player, however, takes on the role of the DM. That would be my job. The game's lead storyteller and referee. The DM runs adventures for the characters, who navigate the hazards and decide which path to explore. The DM describes the locations and creates that adventure's face, and the players decide what they want their characters to do. So I describe a situation, I describe a scene, I give you visuals, I give you perspectives, I give you history. If anything, Bob is going to need help working with Lilith, probably. There are options where other people could join, but I've also found the more characters there are for 2 people playing, the more difficult it gets. But if we get another person in chat who rolls up a character and who wants to join, that's going to make life much easier for me as the dungeon master. So if we can get 3, 4, 5 characters eventually, yes, it's going to be an excellent party. But for now, it's a very good starting point. So the DM determines the results of the adventurer's actions and narrates what they experience. Because the DM can improvise to react to anything the players attempt, D&D is infinitely flexible, and each adventure can be unexpected, or each adventure can be unexpected. So our adventure is going to be based off of the Ghost of Salt Marsh storybook, but it's not going to follow everything in there. I've chosen that one because it's the only one that I've got 2 of these adventures on Roll20 available. and I already ran Curse of Strahd, and I would like to try a new one and try and see how that goes. Alright, so the DM describes the environment, the players describe desired actions, and the DM narrates results. So those are things we already covered in previous sessions. We don't need to do that again. But it's just basically, I tell you something, you respond, and I tell you what you roll, and we see what happens. Alright? So let's quickly just jump back to Lilith. Lilith is our main sort of character for this adventure. She's going to have a sidekick, which we will create in a second, but we need to look at what Lilith is and what she isn't. So she's got 8 health points. She's a bard. She's got poor strength, good dexterity, poor constitution, okayish intelligence, okayish wisdom, and good charisma, right? We've already chosen spells for her, so she can cast Mage Hand, Prestidigitation. Note on the side, it's was originally Tomb of Annihilation, but there were changes in plans. Exactly. Yes, my plans changed a little bit. So it was going to be Tomb of Annihilation, which I think would have been really, really great, but it's going to involve a lot more time that I have to spend creating the maps and creating the things, whereas with Roll20, a lot of the maps are pre-generated for me and pre-created. So I've chosen something simpler for me, because I already put in a lot of time in this, so it is my jealousy. Right, so she can do these spells, these 2 spells here at any time. But if she wants to use any of these 4 spells, where are you going? Any of these 4 spells, she has to use one of these 2 slots here at first level. So she can either charm person, so she can attempt to charm a humanoid she can see within range. They must make a wisdom saving throw, and does so with advantage if one of your companions are fighting it. So she can charm a person before a fight. If she starts charming that person within the fight, that whoever they're fighting has advantage. It means they can roll 2 d20s and take the higher score. That's what advantage means. It's easy. If it fails the saving throw, it is charmed by whoever casts the spell until the spell's end, or until one of your companions do anything harmful. So the duration for the spell is 1 hour. Charmed creature that regards you as a friendly acquaintance. When the spell ends, the creature knows it was charmed by you. Right, so that's one of the 4 spells she can use. Cure Wounds, which is one of the spells I chose for this character, is a creature you touch regains a number of hit points equal to 1d8 plus your spellcasting modifier. So your spellcasting modifier is +1, so 1d8 plus 1. This spell has no effect on undead or constructs, so it's going to heal you if you do take damage in battle. And then Tasha's Hideous Laughter was something that we all chose together, which was great. A creature of your choice that you can see within range perceives everything as hilariously funny, and falls into fits of laughter if the spell affects it. The target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or fall prone, becoming incapacitated and unable to stand up for the duration. A creature with an intelligence score of 4 or less isn't affected. So you're always trying to target a creature that is smarter than a stupid like rat or a bug or something like that. At the end of each of its turns, and each time it takes damage, the target can make another wisdom saving throw. The target has advantage on the saving throw if it's triggered by damage. So the great way to roleplay this spell, right, is you actually tell a joke, or you say something that you think is funny, and you say, I cast Tasha's Hideous Laughter on that person, then they have to make a wisdom saving throw, and then I, as the DM, describe what that person does and how he falls down laughing. This is literally just the laughing spell. And then Thunder Wave, one of my favorite spells in early levels, is a wave of thunderous force sweeps out from you. Each creature in a 15-foot cube originating from you must make a Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, a creature takes 2d8 thunder damage and is pushed 10 feet away from you. On a successful save, the creature takes half as much damage and isn't pushed away. In addition, unsecured objects that are completely within area of effect are automatically pushed 10 feet away from you by the spell's effect, and the spell emits a thunderous boom audible at 300 feet. So what this does is it creates this force of energy that pushes things away from you, and they take thunder damage, right? If they succeed on whatever their saving throw is, then they take only half as much damage, that they don't fall down. If they don't succeed, they fall down and take full damage. Lilith might as well be a succubus right by now. Well, let's see. Let's see what her traits is again. So she is a cat with blue eyes, black and white fur, regularly groomed. She's a free spirit. And her personality trait is, I get bitter if I'm not the center of attention. I change my mind, my mood or my mind as quickly as I change key in a song. So last time we actually realized that this was part of Tabaxi traits as well. So we've added in her notes that her current obsession is a wizard's secret, and she's keeping a small ball of yarn in her hand which she constantly fiddles with, right? Her ideal is greed. She's only in it for the money and the fame. So her target is always going to be money or fame. We're going to see how Bob is a little bit different, or how he might curb that evil tendencies, but it should be interesting. And her bond is, I want to be famous, whatever it takes. And her flaw is, she's a sucker for a pretty face. So hopefully she thinks Bob is pretty. Hopefully. But yeah, that's basically what you need to know. These traits here, these skills come up when I describe a situation and you tell me, okay, I want to go through that door, or I want to see if I can attack or convince that person to do something, or I want to jump up high. Then you use any of these skills to roll the dice and see what happens. If, for example, you say, okay, I want to look at this body that we found in this chamber and see if there are how this person died, or if there's any treasure on it. I will tell you, okay, make it an investigation check. So that will mean you roll a d20 plus whatever your investigation modifier is here, which is plus 0. So you just straight up roll a d20. If you get 10 or higher, you succeed. And I explain to you how well you succeed. If you get a natural 20, you succeed successfully. You are amazing at what you just did. If you get a natural 1, you suck at the investigation and you get nothing out of it. You'll see about that. So obviously the stuff what Lilith wants to focus on is the actions like acrobatics, animal handling, history, perception, performance, persuasion, and stealth, because those are the things she's proficient in. That's what these black marks are all about. So she, when she's got her character sheet in front of her, she always wants to try and get to these kinds of things. So I'm going to try and get a way to show the character sheet and what's going on during our adventure next week while we work. But you can always ask me, okay, show me the character sheet, I want to see this. Or show me the character sheet, I want to see that. I will be working with Bob's character sheet, obviously. Right, and then saving throws. You just saw that some spells need saving throws. This is where you look for your saving throws. And these are the passive senses, right? So these are the passive things that Lilith can do. She can perceive things at a rate of 12. This is out of 20. So a passive perception is a filter that's always going. It's like, okay, I noticed something there because I saw something high. If this is low, you don't really notice thing. Or you've got passive investigation. You can automatically, when you walk into a room, you notice something is wrong if your investigation is high. Or your insights, your passive wisdom, is you realize when someone is lying to you or when someone is trying to keep secrets from you, right? So this is what this is about. I'm already excited for next week. I'm super excited for next week. This is going to be really interesting. Then we also have what kind of things Lilith can wear. So light armor, weapons. So she can only wear light armor. She can't wear medium armor or heavy armor, which makes sense for a tabaxi. So she's going to have leather or a dress or whatever she is. She's going to have those kinds of things. The weapons she can carry, which she has none at the moment, remember, we opted for starting gold, not starting equipment. So we can still buy equipment for her if you want to before the adventure starts, but you'll have to let me know. Otherwise, she's going into this adventure just with the gold and her claws. But she can use a crossbow, her hands, longsword, rapier, short sword, or simple weapons. She is proficient with a disguise kit. The tools she has with her is a disguise kit, drum, horn, lute, pan, and flute. And she can speak common and halfling. Right? So those are everything we need to know. Except for one more thing. Then we can finally get to creating Bob. Oh, I'm excited. Right, so the one more thing that I have realized since we created Lilith was we did not choose the routine that Lilith would have. So Lilith thrives in front of an audience. She knows how to entrance them, entertain them, and even inspire them. Her poetics can stir the hearts of those who hear her, awakening grief or joy, laughter or anger. Her music raises their spirits or captures their sorrow. Her dance steps captivate, her humor cuts to the quick. Whatever techniques she uses, her art is her life. Right? So we already know this, but this is what we want to find out. A good entertainer is versatile, spicing up every performance with a variety of different routines. Choose 1 to 3 routines or roll on the table below to define her expertise as an entertainer. So I'm going to quickly read through these. All you want is Bob, all I want is Bob. If any of these jump out at you, let me know. Otherwise, we are going to roll. But you can choose 1 or 3 of these routines that Lilith might be able to perform when she goes to an inn or when she tries to use her special ability, which you recall was anytime she needs lodging, she can convince barmen or inn people. Let's read that one again. Actions. Not bardic inspiration, which is important. Not feline agility. Not limited use. No. Where is it again? Extras? No. Description. Yes, by popular demand. You can always find a place to perform, usually in an inn or a tavern. Why did you do this to me? There we go. But possibly with a circus or a theater, or even in a noble's court. At each such a place... Why did you do this? At each such a place you receive free lodging and food for a modest or comfortable standard. As long as you perform each night, in addition, your performance makes you something of a local figure. When strangers recognize you in town where you perform, they typically take a liking to you, depending on how your performance went, of course. So, what kind of routine are you going to have? Are you going to be an actor, a dancer, a fire eater, a jester, a juggler, an instrumentalist, a poet, a singer, a storyteller, or a tumbler? This is something we're going to add into your backstory so that you know when you are at this place, call it that, when you're at the inn. So do you prefer to choose one of these or 2 or 3 of these, and which ones would you like? Because like I said, this is a discussion. It's if you look at the title, it's Doc's discussion, so this is where I actually want your input, and I want you to create a character with me. I think that's much more fun. Difficult. I could see her in all of these except for Poet. I know, right? So are we going to roll a D20? We know that Cloudbot is not awake, so I will... Oh, sorry, not a D20, a D10. So I can roll it for you. Then we'll choose 1. So let's quickly roll a D10. I remember you said you wanted Lilith to be a singer, so we can choose a singer for her. Okay. Apparently, this says D10. A tumbler. Ooh, interesting. She's going to be a tumbler. I think that's... No, that's not even a juggler. What's a tumbler? Well, you're a tumbler. Alright, where is... Here it is. Background, no. Characteristics, no. Appearance. Well, let's see. Routines she can perform. Shoop. Tumbling. Singing. And one more. Let's go to backgrounds again. Yeah, see, there's a juggler over here. So tumbler, interesting. Very, very interesting. Twitch, what are you doing? There we go. We're okay. Twitch is doing weird things. So, am I going to roll a D10? I think I'm going to roll a D10 for the final act. Actor, dancer, fire eater. You said everything except for a poet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, let's roll a D10. If it falls on the poet, then we'll see what happens. Roll another D10. Oh, right. I've got I've got things that I'm not allowed to touch here. Make her a dancer. Or, yes, of course. You're correct. I have to make her a dancer. Yes. Yes, I forgot she's going to be the hula girl. Dancer. And dancer. That actually makes a lot of sense. There we go. Her stage name is... What was the hula dancing girl? Most commonly... Oops. Commonly referred to as the great... The great hula girl. There we go. And referred was spelled like this. There we go. Excellent. You are correct. I forgot about that. There we go. I think Lilith is complete. So our main character is complete now. Now we can move over to the sidekick. Was Hula Girl Stella. Oh yes. There we go. Hula Girl Stella. You are correct. Hula Girl Stella. Hula Girl Stella. Stella! Save. Excellent. Okay, so for now our character is complete. We can put her in as the main character. And now we need to know what her companion is going to be like, her sidekick. Since this is a one-person adventure, it's going to be interesting. I could look up what a tumbler is, but I would have to leave this stream for a moment. I could also look up what a tumbler is, and I don't have to leave the stream. So let's do that. An acrobat, especially one who performs somersaults. Ooh. Right. Yeah, that actually works really well for her because she's very acrobatic and she can do those kinds of performances. So that works perfectly. Yep, an acrobat or someone who swings, twirls. So if you find an inn, if you find an inn or something that has those kinds of facilities, that would be really, really perfect for her. Or if you're, seeing as we're on Ghost of Saltmarsh and we know that's going to be a ship-based campaign, you can be an acrobat on the ships, or you can do a performance on the deck of the ship, doing a singing, dancing, troupe performance with tumbling. That would be great, actually. Yeah, that works. That works perfectly fine. So Lilith is complete. So, before we say create a character, I do want to remind you guys who and what Bob is. So we're going to head into Human Fall Flat. I can't believe we're going to be playing game while we do this. But I will show you guys just a reminder what the character is we're going to base it on. So Lilith was a complete imagination from start to finish, where we didn't know who the character was and what we were basing it on. Whereas Bob is the opposite. We're trying to create someone we already know based on something and use D&D to work out what it's going to be. Oh, I need to actually switch this music off. The carnival music needs to go. Carnival music, please. Music. Pause. Alright, here we go. Mr. Bob. Right. Mr. Bob. So, guys, say hello to Mr. Bob. He is a construction worker. He has a really, really interesting face. He loves green. And he twerks. This is what we are basing our character on. Literally what we are basing our character on. So it's going to be interesting. Local. I want to choose a level quickly. I also have, since we are going to be working with Ghost of Saltmarsh, he has to have some kind of watery background. Luckily for us, don't drown, Bob, don't drown. Lucky for us, we have a level called water. Right? So, one of the few things about Bob is he does not have any sword, gun, or bow. He doesn't really work with magic, although I think he's a construction worker, so he makes magic. That is definitely for sure. If she performs at the circus, she could do rope dances too. Ooh, the possibilities, exactly. imagine Lilith performing a song and Bob twerking to it. It's perfection, exactly. Our characters are really, really coming together, I'm telling you. And that's also the thing, is I think both Bob and Lilith will know each other prior to this adventure. And I sort of got a way for them to have met. Right, here we go. So this is Bob's boat. He knows how to sail a boat, right? I said, Bob, I said you know how to sail a boat, right? Yes, I think he knows how to sail a boat. He just goes, bloop. Maybe if he uses both hands. Right. Okay, so yes, he definitely knows how to sail. He's made this boat by himself. He actually made quite a few boats on this island. There's one boat here, one boat there, and another boat there. So I think you guys already can see that he is really good at making things. Come on, Bob. He's not good at moving. So when it comes to, I think, acrobatics, he's not going to have much acrobatics. I'm going to dump my stat of acrobatics into that. He's definitely not well, he's flexible though, but he's not good at movement. I think he is not, well, he's strong. Yes, I've actually agreed that he is strong before, and he does have a hardy body. So I think I'm going to focus on constitution and all that kind of stuff. Whether he's smart or not depends on the class we choose for him, right? So I have two possibilities for classes. Sorry, I'm enjoying the game. He might need to practice grabbing a little bit. That's probably true. But he does get to his tool belt quite easily. And because he's got a tool belt, it's very important for us. Right, sorry, I just want to show you guys the boat. And that Bob is not afraid of the water. Alright, so we know what our character is. Easy. Based off of a game, based off of a character that I've recreated. Let's get into it. Change the music. Yeah, I got it. Thank you very much. Change the music to Age of Sail. Come on. And go to my characters. Create a character. Say standard. Alright, so we've already gone through this step by step with Lilith. So if you want to see how this is done, check out what Lilith is. We know who this is. This is Bob Flats from Human Fall Flat. I can't say Bob Human Fall Flat, but I can say Bob Flats. I will add a picture in for him a little bit later. Ooh, interesting. They've added Rick and Morty content. The Rick and Morty, there's a new adventure for that is going to be released as well. I can't do anything about that. I can't afford that. So I think I need to say playtest content as well. Because like I said, I'm going to be choosing a background for him or a class for him that doesn't exist in normal D&D rules, just to make what we just saw a little bit better. Right, so advancement type is milestone, hit point type is manual, encumbrance, blah blah blah, public. Okay, so the rest is fine. Then we're going to choose a race for him. Now, as you saw, Bob is your bog standard human. I cannot change his race. I can't choose any of this whole list of races that do exist in D&D, because we saw that he was a straight up green human. So it could be a variant human or something like that. But I think we're going to choose a straight up human with an obsession with green. Don't copy Lilith's characteristics, though. She didn't get many positive ones. No, don't worry. We won't copy Lilith at all. The great thing about choosing a race and choosing a background is it changes the entire character. You'll see how it changes. So humans have +1 to all ability scores, and they get 2 languages they speak. Common, everyone speaks Common, and another language. Now, I think since we know Bob knows Lilith in our story, he's also going to be able to speak Halfling. They've taught each other some Halfling, and perhaps even the ship that they're on, that Lilith is performing on, doing her acrobatics on, and having traveled from her homeland to where we are starting our setting, is run by a Halfling captain. That's why they know Halfling as well. That's why they need to know Halfling. I'll come up with the name for the Halfling captain, but I think that is where we're going to start this adventure with them, is they're going to be arriving on a ship. Now for the class. So the normal classes that exist here are Barbarian, Bard, Cleric, Druid, Fighter, Monk, Paladin, Ranger, Rogue, Sorcerer, Warlock, and Wizard. But the class I think that he needs to be is Artificer. I was going to choose Monk, who is a master of martial arts, harnessing the power of the body in spirit of physical and spiritual perfection. But I don't think it fits too well with with Bob. You can choose it because, like I said, is Bob has no weapons. He doesn't use any weapons. He's got his tool belt and he's got his hat, but it doesn't feel right. Not just yet, because he's not as disciplined as a monk should be. Even though a monk would be great for him. Oh, Slowfall! Look at that. Slowfall would be amazing. I'm not gonna choose monk. It's up to you as well, you guys as well. As monk, or here's the class I think will work perfectly well with him, which is unofficial material, unfortunately, but that's fine with me. We're just doing a random one shot. So the material here is presented for playtesting to spark your imagination. These game mechanics are in draft form, usable in your campaign, but not refined by final game design and editing. They aren't officially part of the game and aren't permitted in D&D Adventure League events. If this material is made official, it will be refined based on your feedback, and then it will appear in D&D product that you can unlock on D&D Beyond. If this material is not made official, it will be removed from D&D Beyond following the playtest period, and you will need to replace it with another option. Alright, so an Artificer is a supreme inventor and master of unlocking magic in everyday objects. Guess what kind of everyday objects Bob works with? He's got a tool belt. He's got a hard hat. He knows how to make those items magical. It just fits him perfectly. So this is other things, blah blah blah. So here it is where it becomes interesting. At first level, you learn how to invest a spark of magic in an object that would otherwise be mundane. To use this ability, you must have thieves' tools, tinker's tools, or other artisan's tools in hand. You then touch a tiny non-magical object as an action and give it one of the following magical properties of your choice. The object sheds bright light in 5-foot radius and dim light for an additional 5 feet. Whenever tapped by a creature, the object emits a recorded message that can be heard up to 10 feet away. You utter the message when you bestow this property on the object, and the recording can be no more than 6 seconds long. The object continuously emits your choice of an odor or non-verbal sound. The chosen phenomena is perceivable up to 10 feet away, or a static visual effect appears on one of the object's surfaces. This can be a picture up to 25 words of text, lines, and shapes, or a mixture of these elements as you like. I can imagine that Bob can work with pretty much everything. Exactly. That's the thing is I think this class fits Bob perfectly. So what he's able to do at first level is take something out of his tool belt or use something out of his tool belt, make a light for 5 feet, so basically grab a torch out of his tool belt. That's easy. Or he can emit a recorded message. So take something like a walkie-talkie, and he talks on the walkie-talkie for 6 seconds, and someone else hears it. That's the second ability here. Whenever tapped by a creature, the object emits a recorded message that can be heard up to 10 feet away. That's literally a walkie-talkie. The object, or he can make something that has odor or non-verbal sound. So he rummages in his tool belt and brings out a pre-recorded message, or throws something that makes sound, whatever. Or the final one is obviously like a cell phone. A static visual effect appears on one of the object's surfaces. This effect can be a picture of up to 25 words of text, lines, and shapes, or a mixture of those elements as you like. So you can create a little etch-a-sketch or something that he also has on his tool belt. So the chosen properties last indefinitely. As an action, you can touch the object and end the property early. You can give the magic of this feature to multiple objects, touching one object each time you use the feature, and a single object can bear only one of the properties at a time. The maximum number of objects you can affect with the feature at one time is equal to intelligence modifier, minimum of 1 object. If you try to exceed... Sorry, what did I just do? Oh no! If you try to exceed your maximum, the oldest property immediately ends and then the new property applies. So, as mentioned, intelligence is the modifier here. So, Bob needs to focus on constitutions and intelligence. So, Bob needs to look like he's a lot smarter than he actually is. And I think that's perfectly fine. Our Bob doesn't act smart, but he could be really smart. So, I'm going to choose Artificer for him. I think it's really, really good. And I can imagine at later levels he becomes this magician just creating objects, or he becomes this whatever smith he is. Um, he becomes this tinkerer that just goes into his tool shed and makes things for the adventure and helps out. And another way I was thinking how he knows Lilith and helps Lilith is he helped her with her costumes, like Masked Singer, which I did watch today. Can you believe I watched 2 episodes today? Um, but like Masked Singer, he helps her make the costumes. Perfect. Hidden Einstein, deep down inside, exactly. So 3 proficiencies. I have to choose Artisan's tools for him. So he can have any of these supplies on him when he starts the adventure. Alchemist supplies, brewer's supplies, calligrapher's supplies, carpenter's tools, cartographer's tools, cobbler's tools, cook's utensils, glassblowers tools, jeweler's tools, leatherworker's tools, mason's tools, painter's supplies, potter's tools, smith's tools, weaver tools, or woodcarver's tools. Now these are all the or these tools, or this specific tool, whatever tool I choose, is the thing that he uses to create the magical items that he makes or the spells that he casts. So I have to choose a tool that fits him well. I'll ask for your opinion on the show later. All right, sure. So I think this is an odd choice, but I think Carpenter's tools works best for him here. And I'll explain a little bit later why I chose Carpenter's tools instead of something like Mason's tools. I can't choose Alchemist's tools because we already saw that he's a construction worker. But I think he specializes in woodworking, so that's why I went with Carpenter's tools. Now I have to choose an Artificer skill, whether he's proficient in Arcana, History, Investigation, Medicine, Nature, Perception, or Sleight of Hand. I think I'm going to choose Investigation for him, because we know in Human for Flat he has to investigate the whole puzzle. He has to try and figure out what the puzzle is to try and get to the next world. So he should be good at investigating things, right? He also might have a good perception. I think he might have a really good perception, actually, to be able to see what goes on there. All right, so we've already read through magical tinkering. We know what that's about. So here is the important thing: is you have studied the workings of magic, how to channel it through objects, and how to awaken it within them. As a result, you have gained a limited ability to cast spells. To observers, you don't appear to be casting spells in a conventional way. You look as if you're producing wonders through various items. You produce your artificer spell effects through your tools. You must have a spellcasting focus. That is our carpenter's tools. And in hand when you cast any spell. So he has to pull out some kind of carpenter's tools out of his belt. You must be proficient with tool to use it in this way, blah blah blah. After you gain the infuse item feature at 2nd level, you can also use any item bearing one of your infusions as a spellcasting focus. Alright, so the Artificer table shows how many spell slots you have to cast your Artificer spells. I read something else that was important here. Oh right, yeah. The magic of Artifice. D&D, the Twitch. Yeah, exactly. That might work well with Lilith Stealth too. Exactly. Alright, so as an Artificer, you use tools when you cast your spells. When describing your spellcasting, think about how you're using a tool to perform the spell effect. If you cast Cure Wounds using alchemist supplies, you could be quickly producing a salve. If you cast it using Tinker's tools, you might have a miniature mechanical spider that binds wounds. When you cast Poison Spray, you could fling foul chemicals or use a wand that spits venom. The effect of the spell is the same as for a spellcaster for any other class, but your method of spellcasting is special. The same principle applies when you prepare your spells. As an artificer, you don't study a spell book or pray to prepare your spells. Instead, you work with your tools and create the specialized items you'll use to produce your effects. If you replace Cure Wounds with Shocking Grasp, You might be breaking down the device you use to heal and creating an offensive item in its place. Perhaps a gauntlet that lets you channel a surge of energy. Such details don't limit you in any way or provide you with any benefit. You don't have to justify how you're using tools to cast a spell, but describing your spellcasting creatively is a fun way to distinguish yourself from other spellcasters. So this is why I say Bob, in our case, has a tool belt, and he goes somewhere either on the ship or wherever he finds lodging. He spends a lot of time in there and tries to create or reproduce a lot of these things that he uses in battle later on. And to you it looks like magic, but to him he knows exactly how this works. All right, so that is what we know of Bob so far, which is a lot already. Let us roll our ability scores for him. This should be interesting. So if I remember correctly, I roll ability scores. I'll have to check this up again. Game rules. Sources. Player's handbook. Damn, Bobby's like a god of creation. Like I said, you're gonna like Bob as well. Determined ability scores. And so far you can see it's not clashing with Lilith's character at all. Is if she gets too abrasive, he could probably go into his working area or just ignore her, get so focused on what he's doing that he doesn't notice that she's actually being evil or that she's actually being bad or anything. He's just interested in whatever his traits are going to be when we roll it. Roll 4 6-sided dice and record the total of the highest 3. Alright, I need you to record my high totals for me, please. So roll 4 d6. So the first number is 18. Ooh, that's a really good number. Wow. Second number 11. Oh no, wait, sorry, not 18. We need to do the top highest. 6 5. So we have 10 15. Sorry, 15 and 10 and 11 and 13 and whoa, that's a really good one. I can't math today. 22 minus 5 is 17. 17 and 16. He's gonna have some really good stats here. I do like him, but Lilith is still my baby. True. No, I won't stop you on that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so let's do this again as well, so that I also have that somewhere I can see it. So we've got our stats for Bob is 17, 10, 11, 15, 15, and 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm missing one. 17, 10, 11. Oh, this one here. 13. 13. There we go. He did get far better numbers than Lilith got. I'll give him that. It's very true. It's good to have that kind of sidekick as well, I'm sure. Remember, he's the sidekick here, so it doesn't... It matters, but it doesn't change how he's going to help you. Alright, so we said... what was it? Intelligence he needs to be big on, right? Let me just double check here. Artificers, proficiency bonus, blue, 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 blue. I think it was intelligence. Constitution. True that. Why do I not see what I'm looking for? Go back. Creations, characters, view. No man. Yeah, Artificer. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Seekers on the lore, quick build, constitution. I think it's intelligence, not wisdom. Intelligence modifier. There we go. Phew, that took me forever. Okay, so our highest is intelligence and constitution. Those are the things we want high. So we know that his spellcasting is the most important thing, so we'll put 17 there. Then we've got 16 in constitution. Then we can play around with this. So we said he's not very dexterous. That is our lowest trait. So 10. He didn't roll below 10, which is good. I would like to have him either strong or charismatic. Which one of those? Hey Jude, how are you doing today? We are busy creating our sidekick for our D&D adventure next week. He is Bob from Human Fall Flat, and he is looking really, really good so far. Oh, I cannot wait. I cannot wait to play with him. What? Exactly. What? Alright, so either charismatic or strong. Actually, no, we said strong. That's what I remember. We said strong. The other thing was strong. I just remembered. 15. And then we'll put charisma as the next one. So 13. And he's not the wisest, but he's intelligent. Right? So this is why I say he's pretending that he's stupid. And he twerks and he does whatever he likes. It works perfectly fine. Right, so let's see. Bobby's got 16 strength, so it's plus 3 modifier. 11, he's not as dexterous as Lilith would be, but he is his constitution is big, which is good. He can tank a little bit more, so he might have a little bit more health than Lilith. His intelligence, he's really intelligent actually, but he's not as wise and charismatic. So yeah, I think let's quickly go back because I forgot something. I forgot to put in his health here. Apply. There we go. Yeah, he's a little bit higher. So his class is an artificer. He can create magical items from normal everyday items using his carpenter's tools. Right? Why do I like to imagine him twerking trying to impress Lilith? I don't know. Right, so we've got all of these things. So now we get to his background. Where does he come from? What does he do in terms of D&D? We know that he is a construction worker in Human Fall Flat. That's the character I have, but you don't have a construction worker in D&D. But we do have some classes or backgrounds that help in this kind of thing, right? So let's go through this quickly. Is anthropology is not going to work, archaeology is not going to work, charlatan's not going to work, not for Bob, criminal spy, not really, entertainer, not going to work here, fisher, maybe, not really, folk hero, no, gladiator, no, guild artisan or guild merchant could work for us here. Haunted one is definitely not going to work, although he might be haunted by Lilith, who knows. Hermit could be. I like to think Hermit works with Bob, but I'm not going to go with that. Is it engineer could be good, but he's not really an engineer. He's a woodworker. Knight, marine, noble, Orzhov representative, no. Outlander, no. Pirate, no. Rakdos cultist, no. Sage, no. Sailor, no. Selesnya is initiate, no. Shipwright. Shipwright is the thing I think he might be. Simic scientist, smuggler, soldier, or urchin. So, I want you guys to choose one of these four, I think. Is shipwright, guild artisan, hermit, or I think those are the three. Yeah, those are the three. Or fisher. Let's say fisher for the fourth one. You mean as in Lilith stalks him? Who knows? Maybe, well, with the haunted one. Yeah, haunted one is actually a special class for Curse of Strahd. So haunted one, the special trait for that is you're haunted by something so terrible that you dare not speak of it. You've tried to bury it and run away from it to no avail. Whatever the thing is that it haunts you, can't be slain with a sword or banished with a spell. It might come to you as a shadow on the wall, a blood-curdling nightmare, a memory that refuses to die, or demonic whisper. It's not... I was just joking. So, yeah, like I say, I think a shipwright would be great for Bob. This is why I chose the water level earlier. Show you that he actually does have a little bit of experience in making, creating ships, sailing in ships, whatever you want to call him. But he could also be a guild artisan or guild merchant. So you are a member of an artisans guild skilled in a particular field and closely associated with other artisans. You are a well-established part of the mercantile world, freed by talent and wealth from the constraints of feudal social order. You learned your skills as an apprentice to a master artisan under the sponsorship of your guild until you became a master in your own right. Might just be Lilith. Or shipwright. Let's read shipwright. You have sailed into war on the decks of great ships, patching their hulls with soup bowls and prayers. You once helped build a fishing vessel that single-handedly saved a town from starvation. You have seen a majestic prow in your dreams that you have not been able to replicate in wood. Since childhood, you have loved the water and have been captivated by the many vessels that travel on it. So, either shipwright or guild merchant works. I don't know which one's better though, or the best. Well, you know which one I think is the best, but it's up to you. This is your guys' stream just as much as it's mine, and adventure. Where was the other one? Oh, hermit. You live in seclusion, either in sheltered communities such as a monastery or entirely alone. For a formative part of your life, in your time apart from the clamor of society, you found quiet solitude and perhaps some of the answers you were looking for. You were shipwright, all right. I think so too. We'll see if Jude thinks differently. I don't think so. Jude, are you still there? All right, shipwright it is. Right. So I will work on his backstory and tell you a little bit about it because there are some secrets that I do have to keep from you guys. But we can still choose his traits today, and we can still choose a few other things for him today. All right, what is his other skill that he's going to have? Acrobatics, animal handling, arcana, athletics, nope. Deception, nope. Insight, maybe. Intimidation, possibly. Imagine a twerking guy in front of you. You might be intimidated. Medicine, nature, performance. Performance could actually be good here. Now let's choose performance here. Or persuasion. Performance or persuasion could be really good. Stealth, sleight of hand. What? Secrets? How dare you? Well, I have to. It makes it more interesting. Remember, it's your sidekick. It's not your life companion. It's not you haven't known him all of your life. You've only recently met him, and he's only helping you make your costumes. You don't know everything about Bob, do you? Performance or persuasion? Performance could mean that he joins in your performances as well. And that's what we've been hinting at the whole time. Is he's part of your performance. That's not bad actually. Alright, we've got another tool we can choose from. Quite a lot actually. Let's quickly go through these. Alchemist supplies, bagpipes, brewer supplies, calligrapher's supplies, cartographer's supplies, cobbler's tools, cooking utensils. Who could be the cook? Dice set, disguise kit, dragon chest set, drum, dulcimer, flute. Or maybe we choose forgery kit, glassblowers kit, herbalism kit, horn, jeweler's kit, leatherworkers tools, lute, lyre, mason's tool, navigator's tools. Maybe navigator's tools, painter's supplies, pan flute, playing cards set, poisonous kit, potter's tools, charm, smith's tools, 3-dragon anti-set, vehicles. Oh, actually, he might be proficient in vehicles or land. No, let's go for vehicles. He's proficient in some kind of vehicle. He can sea vehicle. He can actually sail a ship. On second, of course, that's the whole thing. Is you make secrets and then you explain it to me. I also keep secrets. I have the dungeon master. I can do what I want. All right. So yes, he is proficient in a vehicle, in a sea or air vehicle, which again will be great for our adventure since we know this is on the ocean. Right, so he's also got a background feature. He can patch things. Provided you have carpenter's tools, which you do have, and wood, you can perform repairs on a water vehicle. When you use this ability, you restore a number of hit points to the hull of a water vehicle equal to 5 times your proficiency modifier. A vehicle cannot be patched by you in this way again until after it has been pulled ashore and fully repaired. You have no idea what door you just opened up for me. Oh no, this is again, D&D is all about story creation from the dungeon master and the player. That's what I want. This is a story shared by everyone. It's not going to be the same story, and it can't be the same story every time. It's just can't. Alright, let's go for suggested characteristics, the thing that I've been waiting for the whole time. Rolling 2d8s. So I'm going to have you choose one, and I'm going to roll a d8 for the other one. So you can choose anyone here. Actually, you can use Cloudbot for your choice. So roll a d80 for me so long while I read through these. I love talking and being heard more than I like to listen. I'm extremely fond of puzzles. I thrive under pressure. I love sketching and designing objects, especially boats. I'm not afraid of hard work. In fact, I prefer it. A pipe, an ale, and the smell of the sea. Paradise. I have an endless supply of cautionary tales related to the sea. I don't mind getting my hands dirty. Right, so roll me a d8. Roll me exclamation gamble d80. Sorry, exclamation gamble 80. What am I talking about? D80. And I will roll a d8 on roll 20. Three. Number 3. I think it has to be gamble 800 instead. But sure. No, it's 80. It's not 800. We're not trying to roll a d80. We're trying to roll a d8. But sure, whichever. Okay, so the trait I have for him is I thrive under pressure. So the more pressure he has, the better he feels. Hopefully he does well in that. Come on, Cloudbot. Tell me you're awake today. You showed me you were awake. But why? If you insist. There we go. 57, number 5. I'm not afraid of hard work. In fact, I prefer it. Right, cool. So, he thrives under pressure, and he is not afraid of hard work. He actually wants a lot of work on his plate. Easy 2 choices. Okay, can you roll me, gamble 60 for me, please. This is for his ideals. So, his ideal is either crew, if everyone on deck pitches in, we'll never sink. Careful lines, a ship must be balanced according to the laws of the universe. Invention, make what you need out of whatever is at hand. Perfection, to measure a being and find it lacking is the greatest disappointment. So he likes hard work, but you can't pressure him. No, you can pressure him. He thrives under it. In fact, if you pressure him, he gets better and better at his job. It fits well. Right, so we had perfection, to measure a being and find it lacking is the greatest disappointment. That's evil. Reflection, muddied water always clears in time. Hope, the horizon at sea holds the greatest promise. That's any. You rolled. Wait, huh? How'd that work? You gambled 60, but you rolled 97. Are you okay, Cloudbot? How'd that happen? Try one more time. That's hilarious. Math. That didn't work so well at all. Yeah, I'll try one more time, or I'll roll one d6. That's just weird. Roll d6. Let's go. It's number 6. Okay, so all the high class stuff. New try. Alright, let's see what you get. I just don't know how the cooldown is going to work. I say hope is a good one to have. The horizon at sea holds the greatest promise. So he just wants he loves How? That's just weird. That's very weird. So he always looks out to the future. I don't know what's up with gambling. Alright, so his ideal is to hope for things to become better. So maybe he looks forward to the future where he thinks that his companion, Lilith, is going to change a little bit. And he hopes that she gets her dream of becoming rich, and because he obviously, because you know each other, he will know a little bit more about her dreams and her hopes and her ambitions. So he always looks to the horizon. Easy. All right, bonds. Let's see if gambling works on this one. Roll a d6t. Oh, try gambling 600. Like you said, maybe that will improve somehow. All right. Bonds. I must visit all the oceans of the world and behold the ships that sail there. Much of the treasure I claim will be used to enrich my community. If you roll two, then we're in trouble. I must find a kind of wood rumored to possess magical qualities. I repair broken things to redeem what's broken in myself. I will craft a boat capable of sailing through the most dangerous of storms. A kraken destroyed my masterpiece. Its teeth shall adorn my heart. Let's see. Lilith could also pressure him to make her next costume for a show. That could fit. Yeah, that's why I say is so far it's all working perfectly well together. Is there a good fit? But if we roll to 35, well, that's a 1. I must visit all the oceans of the world and behold the ships that sail there. That's a really interesting one. So all he cares about is going back to the oceans as his bond. Right, and then final one is flaws. This is another d6. I don't know when to throw something away. You never know when it might be useful again. So he could be a hoarder. I get frustrated at the point of distraction by shoddy craftsmanship, or he could be judgmental. He could say, "Oh, yeah, whoever made this thing is just useless." Though I'm an excellent crafter, my work tends to look as though it belongs on a ship. That's interesting. I'm so obsessed with sketching my ideas for elaborate inventions that I sometimes forget little things like eating and sleeping. Oh no, who knows? I'm judgmental of those who are not skilled with tools of some kind. And I sometimes take things that don't belong to me, especially if they are very, very well made. Right, so roll me or gamble another 600 for me. Oh, this would be interesting. Yeah, just to be sure. Because I don't know what happened with the 60. That was weird. Rolled 76. There's definitely something wrong with the gambling thing, by the way. Because that's very low. But that's a 1. I'm gonna also roll. I think I'm gonna roll a d6. I don't like that one. Not for Bob, at least. Another 6. Wow. I'm also just rolling massively today. If this was a good campaign, that would have been nice. Okay, all the machines are broken today. I sometimes take things that don't belong to me, especially if they are very well made. Well, okay. If he gets 6, he's perfect for Lilith. He got 2 6s in a row. Yep, there we go. We've got our character. Oh, Bob. Oh, Bob. Alright, so based on that, what do we have? We had this any. He could literally, his alignment could be anything as well. This is going to be an interesting party. I don't think neutral good. Yes, you got it. Neutral good could work. Lawful good definitely not. Lawful neutral possibly, but no. Chaotic evil, chaotic good. I'm gonna say chaotic good. Chaotic good creatures act as their conscience directs, with little regard for what others expect. Copper dragons, many elves, and unicorns are chaotic good. Now they are both thieves. Very true. We'll work with faith later. Bob, I think, is not as squalid as Lilith is. He's not poor either. I think he's either between modest or comfortable. He's not wealthy and he's not an aristocrat, but I think he's between modest and comfortable. I think that's what I'm going to choose. I'll put him as comfortable. Choosing a comfortable lifestyle means that you can afford nicer clothing and can easily maintain your equipment. You live in a small cottage in a middle-class neighborhood or in a private room at a fine inn. You associate with merchants, skilled tradespeople, and military officers. Yep, I think that's it. Hair, green. Skin, green. Eyes, green. Height, I can't say height, green. I'll roll for height later. I'll roll. Weight is heavy weight. Let's say 150 pounds. Age. Ooh, what age could Bob be? He's a human. Let's go for between 25 and 34. What do you think? Which one? 28, 35. He's a male. 30. Yeah, 25 and 34. He's not too old and not too young either. I don't know anything about this. I think they're really good friends now as well. I think we've got a good character here. Our sidekick is basically almost finished and looking really good. Let's go for 34. He's a little bit older than Lilith, but she's fine. Alright, so to review. Bob thrives under pressure, is not afraid of hard work. In fact, he prefers hard work, so he's going to beg to make a new costume or beg to make something new. I think he should be older than Lilith, who's 28. Okay, so 34 is fine. His ideal is to look at the horizon, which holds hope. He must visit all the oceans of all the world and behold the ships that sail there. So he's got an obsession with both ships and the ocean. And he sometimes takes things that don't belong to him, especially if they are very well made. Oh, so good. So good. Alright, so organizations, allies, enemies, backstory, and others. I will work on my own. This is something that you'll not be able to see in the stream. It's sidekick work. Although we've already got a relationship between Lilith and Bob's. Well, a working relationship between Lilith and Bob, which is great. Starting equipment. Ooh. So, Bob is definitely going to have equipment with him. He's not going to have gold with him. Unlike Lilith, he is prepared. He always needs to be prepared. He's got a few other possessions and things like that. And he's got some items. But I will check through the spells what items he needs. Right, so we're going to start with equipment. Good thing that Lilith didn't get the phobia against water. That would have been hilarious, though. That would have been so funny. Yeah, it's a really... I think our campaign or our little... adventure is going to be great. Alright, so what kind of weapon would Bob have in his tool belt? A light hammer, there we go. A light hammer. Yep, he'll have a little light hammer in his tool belt. And perhaps a dagger. And he has a light crossbow with 20 bolts as well. He'll be wearing studded leather armor for sure. He's got thieves' tools, which is great. These are going to be the pair of biggest thieves in the whole wide world. But yes, he's got thieves' tools, and he's got a backpack with a crowbar, a hammer, 10 batons, 10 torches. He's basically the pack mule, tinderbox, 10 days of rations and water skin, and 50 feet of rope. And let me guess, you're not going to reveal his backstory until the first session. Yes, definitely. First session is next week. So for sure. He's not going to have a backstory until then. Alright, and the shipwright starting equipment he has is a set of well-loved carpenter's tools, a blank book, so he's got 2 sets of carpenter's tools, interesting. 1 ounce of ink, an ink pen, a set of traveler's clothes, and a leather pouch with 10 gold. So let's add all of the starting equipment. I knew it! Bum bum bum! Yeah, like I said, next week, Wednesday, this session, we're going to have that first session. So, for sure, you're not going to see anything until then. Right, so let's view our sidekick. We have made our sidekick. I think I'm happy. So, he's got 11 health. He's got higher health than Lilith has because he's got better constitution. Constitution always relates to how much health you have. This is why I thought it was important that he should have a little bit more constitution. And also, it just fits with his character. He's also 30 feet of movement. And his armor class, why is his armor class so low? He needs to have this equipped. Okay, let's have everything equipped. Then his armor class should be a little bit better. All the equipped items are equipped now. Now his armor class is 12. There we go. That looks much better. He can tinker four objects actually, which is really good. So he can make 4 magical things onto his belt. That is, if you don't accidentally spoil anything, you're a bit clumsy about that at times. No offense. That's fine. I might spoil a few things. Alright, so he's got 2 weapon fighting, so he can have 2 weapons in hand, right? When you take the attack action and attack with a light melee weapon that you're holding in one hand, you can use a bonus action to attack with a different light melee weapon that you're holding in the other hand. You don't add your ability modifier to the damage of the bonus attack unless that modifier is negative. Okay. So he's got daggers that deal D4 damage and a crossbow. Right, let's check out the spells that he has, because this is the other important things that he can do. And I think that's the one thing that we'll still work on, as the spells. He also knows 2 cantrips and 4 spells. Acid Splash, Bonfire, Dancing Lights, Firebolt, Frostbite, Guidance, Light, Mage Hand, Magic Stone, Mending, Message, Poison Spray, Prestidigitation, Ray of Frost, Resistance, Shocking Grasp, Spare the Dying, Thorn Whip, Thunderclap, or Absorb Elements. No, those. Alright, those are all good spells. While I'm creating his backstory, I'm also going to choose his spells. So I'm not going to choose the spells right now. But I'll read out what he has. His first level spells is Absorb Elements, Alarm, Arcane Weapon, Catapult, Cure Wounds, Detect Magic, Disguise Self, Expeditious Retreat, Fairy Fire, False Life, Featherfall, Grease, Identify, Jump, Longstrider, and Sanctuary. Yeah, all of these are really, really good spells. But yeah, I think we have our awesome, awesome buddy, Bob Flats, Bob the Builder. It's looking really good. It's looking really, really good. I'm loving it. We also have everything we need to create our character with. He looks completely different from Lilith, which is what we wanted. And as far as we can see, there is no clash in, or real clash between the characters. There could be some clashes, but not much. She's got much better initiative than he has. That's good. So she could always, or she's got a chance to always be ahead of him in the fights. But we will explain the rules as we go through the story as well. Any rules that I haven't discussed during all of these sessions will also be discussed. Maybe she could secretly have a crush on him and just not admit it. Maybe. We already, I think, have established that he might have a family back from where he came from. But that does not change what's going on in this small adventure. This small adventure is going to be about 3 or 4 hours. Hopefully we can do the whole adventure in one session. We will see how next week pans out, because I do not know what next week holds for me, as I'm going away this weekend, changes things on any day. But yeah, I don't have much else to share with you guys. Let's just check the new player guide here. Close this tab, that tab, that tab, and that tab. We'll just remind you guys how to play the game here. Alright, so yeah, these things. Play your story. The foundation of the D&D rules are your 6 abilities, whether you're exploring, engaging in social interaction, or fighting for your life. Here you'll learn more about the 3 main ways to use your abilities: saving throws, ability checks, and attack rolls, all of which can be affected by advantage and disadvantage. So as I said before, advantage is in whatever his spell is, and disadvantage is also whatever his spell is. He's a good character though, I won't deny it. Yes, he's very... I'm liking the way that both of these characters came out. Is really interesting the way we've created a whole story already. Right. So sometimes a special ability or spell tells you that you have an advantage or disadvantage on ability checks. Something very important with Lilith as well. Let's just go back. My characters. So I'm going to use her obviously as the example here. View Lilith. She's got bardic inspiration, so she can use her words. She can use as a bonus action a creature within 60 feet that can hear you gains an inspiration dice. For 10 minutes, that creature can add it to one ability check, attack roll, or saving throw. This can be added after seeing the first roll, but before knowing the outcome. So she can inspire people by her words, by her singing, by her moves, by her dancing, whatever. Like you said, she's a flirty type of person. She can do that once per day, or once per short rest, per long rest. That's a special ability she has. She's also got feline agility. When you move on your turn in combat, you can double your speed until the end of your turn. Once you use this trait, you can't use it again until you move 0 feet. Okay. But she had this one spell, Thunderwave spell, and Tasha CDS Laughter actually, which is a wisdom saving throw. And that's what they're talking about here, is the character has to make a wisdom saving throw, and some characters has advantage or disadvantage. All that means is to have disadvantage, you roll 2 d20s and take the lower of the score. If you have advantage, you roll 2 d20s and take the higher of the score. That's it. If you don't have advantage or disadvantage, you just roll 1 d20. Saving throws, I honestly didn't expect them to fit as well together as they do. Luckily for us, we had some good rolls for them that made them fit well together, which is perfect. That's what we want. Saving throws. A saving throw, also called a save, represents an attempt to resist a threat. You don't normally decide to make a saving throw, you are forced to make one, because your character or monster is at risk of harm. To make a saving throw, roll a d20 and add the appropriate ability modifier. So that's the stuff here on the character sheet would be saving throws. So if I tell you to make a strength saving throw, you need to make a d20 roll plus minus 1. If I tell you to make a wisdom saving throw, you make a d20 roll plus 0. If you need to make a charisma saving throw, d20 plus 3. Yeah, especially the thief one here. This is going to turn out really great for DMing. Ability checks. An ability check tests a character's or monster's innate talent and training in an effort to overcome a challenge. For every ability check, the DM decides which of the 6 abilities is relevant to the task at hand, and the difficulty of the task represented by the difficulty class. The more difficult the task, the higher its DC. So that would be one of these checks over here. Strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, or charisma. That's just an ability check. And attack rolls. To make an attack roll, roll a d20 and add the appropriate modifiers. If the total of that roll plus modifiers equals or exceeds the target's armor class, the attack hits. When a character makes an attack, roll the 2 most common modifiers to the roll, which are ability modifier and the character's proficiency bonus. Luckily for us, these things are all figured out on D20, on D&D Beyond. So that is when you're attacking someone, actions. When you use something like a claw attack, you have 1d4 minus 1. You roll a d20 plus your plus 1, your hit dice. So you roll a d20 and whatever it says over here, and then if you want to hit a creature, you have to look at its armor class. So your armor class here is 13. So if I were to roll, let's say you attack yourself, right? d20 plus 1. You rolled a 20. You just decide one day you're going to attack yourself. You actually do damage to yourself because your armor class is lower than 20. That's it. It's easy. He's definitely a predator. Well, his green face, green everything. Yeah, sure. Let's say that. Yeah, I think he's attractive enough. His dancing skills are enough. But I think Lilith might meet a few more attractive people than Bob, so she might change her mind a lot quicker. All right. Yeah. I think that is it for our session today. I don't think I need to add anything for creating a sidekick. We've talked about what we need to know about our main character. We've talked about what we need to know for a sidekick. It was a lot easier to make the sidekick because I'd already thought of a certain thing or a certain character that I want for a sidekick, and that helps a lot of the time. Is if you know what kind of sidekick you have and your dungeon master knows a lot about the rules for Dungeons and Dragons, it helps to just quickly go through it. Lilith might like green. You never know. No, I never know. That's the thing. It's your character. You tell me how she thinks and how she works. I'm not gonna make those things. But yes, we have now our main character and our sidekick for the adventure in Ghosts of Saltmarsh next week. So stay tuned for that. That is going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to our first little adventure, traveling from a ship somewhere in the Forgotten Realms, where both Lilith and Bob are. We'll have a halfling captain and a few other characters to introduce next week as well, and a little bit of backstory that you don't know about, uh, and a lot of backstory that we know about Lilith. So, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll be playing some more Bioshock a little later. Not right now. Is way too early, I know, but I can't play anything right now. Actually, I'll take a little bit of a break. Um, Unfortunately, I do have to wait for my family. It was going to be a big blast, but I have to wait for a few things to happen here before I can start my next stream. But if I do start my next stream, I will see you guys whenever. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a comment and a like. I'll see you next time.